Well, good morning to you. Oh, before I get into that, I'll be posting highlights soon. I think the live is published now. Uh, Mr. Smarty Pants, All Nuts, written by Charity Reid, illustrated by ASTRONYM. They were in the building, in the virtual, no, they were in the virtual She Suite on Tuesday night, and where we talked about Astro's emerging career as an illustrator and comic artist and colorist, as well as Charity, who is a children's book writer and educator and mom. And we talked about Mr. Smarty Pants, how these two got together. They were actually paired by the publisher Soaring Kite Books, who Astro has done the colorist work for them before. And they really seem to enjoy the partnership. I can't wait to post the highlights between these two. And Astro is known for bright, bold colors, bold lines, quirky characters, and I really, really appreciate uh, her how she uses black expression, um, how she renders black skin tone, and the hair is so freaking cute. So look, I just want to say, I'll tell you why the parents are reacting in a minute. So the parents are like so funny, their expressions. And then there's another one where I'm just like, oh, y'all know that black mama look. Hold on, where is it? She was like, come on, let's go now. And so I'll tell you a bit about this story. So, uh, Mr. Smarty Pants is a fun to read and humorous introductory graphic novel that exposes kids to STEM and a key figure from Black history, George Washington Carver. So, this is a STEM graphic novel. And I will say, first and foremost, um, first, I will say primarily, every teacher, every parent, if you, especially if you have a black child or black students, need to run and get this book. It is cute and funny. If you have a child that is allergic to peanuts, run and get this book. Bubba, our smallest, Raph's boy, is allergic to peanuts, and uh, I can't wait to get this in front of him because it's such a fun journey. And let me tell you why it's ironic and funny. So George Washington Carver is a famous black scientist. Some people say, oh, he invented peanut butter, but you'll find out in this book he did not invent peanut butter. That it was actually an ancient Central American culture. Again, you'll find out more here in Mr. Smarty Pants. So make sure you read it, get your facts straight, and from Mr. Smarty Pants himself. Uh, but George Washington Carver did make a multitude of products and inventions around peanuts, peanut butter, nuts, and agricultural. He was uh, one of the, I think, was he the first black student graduate with a degree? Period, or was it a degree in agriculture? I think he might have been period, but it was in agriculture. Um, and so um, and this book is part of his legacy. Benjamin, young Benjamin, is the great 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 nephew of George Washington Carver. Oh, give us some facts, Cipher. Thank you. Give us some facts about George in the chat there. Uh, and and Benjamin, despite his legacy and his family now runs a peanut butter factory in the community. He is highly highly allergic to peanuts, terribly allergic to peanuts. However, being Mr. Smarty Pants that he uses his ingenuity and the legacy of the original Mr. Smarty Pants himself to create inventions and creams and other mechanisms to help him cope and survive as a person with peanut allergies. This is such a it's so there's all the traditional story elements around a fun, almost superhero like story. There's an arch nemesis, Dark Midnight, I think he is, Dion, and also known as Dark Midnight. And his family owns a chocolate factory in the neighborhood. And he does not like the fact that Benjamin and his peanut factory is moved on in. And so something happens, and, you know, the chase is on. And young Benjamin has to assemble his squad, the PBJ squad, also known as Pete, Benjamin himself, and Gemma. And so, as I mentioned earlier, not only are the bright colors and choices that Astro uses are so fun and attractive, but the hair, it's just so cute and bubbly and delicious and juicy. Just juicy curls, and I love it. And so this is the PB&J squad. You have, let me see, am I holding it right? Where are they? Nope, let me hold it. Eh. So this is the PB&J squad. There they go. And there's Pete in the red. He's the muscle. Benjamin, he's the brains. And Gemma, she's the voice of reason. And look at their hair. Look at Gemma's hair. Look at that. That's so cute. And look at the shades. Little beads and little juicy twists. I love it. Right? And honestly, especially as black boys, to see yourself in stories like this, um, the kids get excited. And like I said, I can't wait to read this to Bubba, because not only is it, he can relate as being a little black boy himself, but also with the peanut allergies, and shows that um, how Benjamin almost uses it as a strength. Like, if it wasn't for that, would he have been motivated enough to create such wonderful inventions to survive and cope and combat the evils of the chocolate factory, um, and to make wonderful friends along the way. Uh, Funny note: Pete loves pickles, and the pickles come into play at very inopportune moments. But again, I highly recommend this book. I give it, as part of my graphic novel reads, I would give this a 3 to 4 star out of 5. I would give the art a 5 star out of 5 leaves, and the writing 3 to 4. And there's a couple moments, feedback that I would have for Charity. And you guys let me know. Again, I'm learning about graphic novels and comic books, so maybe this is a mechanism that I'm just not as familiar with, but it made it feel a little bit disjointed to me. So at the beginning of the book, let me show you that color again. Look at that scene. Look how beautiful that is. And uh, so we learn about Benjamin being the legacy of Washington Carver and being Mr. Smarty Pants. We learn about his legacy of Washington Carver. We learn about him being Mr. Smarty Pants right from the beginning. His inventions, why he does it, his allergy, all the problems he had, and how he's combated them. And after the conflict and issues ensues, and he joins his squad together, we get information on each person in the squad. And I think here, I wish I either would have liked and seen something different about Benjamin, because it is a bit repetitive. Because we learned about him being Mr. Smarty Pants, and then here she again says, as she's listing the different people, Pete, he loves pickles, he's a muscle. Benjamin is AKA Mr. Smarty Pants, master creator. I build things. It's a talent I've ever had. I'm pretty sure it's something I inherited. Like, we know it is. Like, and um, and that's something we talked about at the beginning. So either I'm like, do we introduce the squad earlier, or do we build in how we learn about who Benjamin is related to and his ancestors as the story unfolds. I think the latter is what maybe I would have liked to have seen. Um, but reading for children, it's like I also understand why it has to be compartmentalized. But I think that could have been done a little better. And then one thing again, when it's talking about the kids, maybe this is something. This is, if Mr. Smarty Pants has a book too, um, but something I would have liked to see here, as with someone with allergies and combating them. Oftentimes, again here, even with him being Mr. Smarty Pants, he's different in more than a couple of ways when it comes to his peers. Look at that hair. Hair and complexions. And so here there's a panel where he's super excited and confident about being Mr. Smarty Pants. He's always his awards, and that's great. Like, it's something that you should cherish, hold on to dear, be confident and bold in the world. But these little, as kids, Mr. Smarty Pants becomes more of a snicker, like, oh, Mr. Smarty Pants and jealousy and everything. I think there's a lesson there, right? And I think I would have liked to see, he's completely oblivious. And maybe that is a lesson, because I know that's how I was. I was completely blind to the BS. That's something that I put hardcore into my teenager. And maybe that is what Charity is saying here now that I think about it. So I don't know, but I think I would have liked to see that a little bit more. But I mean, I don't have. Much more to say like what could have been done different. It's a really fun story. Um, like even the mom, like she's a thick thickie, and like how she looks sitting down looks like how I would expect his mom. Like it's just the way it's drawn. Like Astro's such a good job. So why didn't get this? Um, the library edition, the hardback edition, is on sale right now on Amazon. You can follow the artist ASTRONYM here on Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram. Her portfolio can be found astronym.art. And then Charity Reid is on Instagram as Charity Reid 85. So shout out to these young black women, Charity and Astronym. STEM graphic novel, Mr. Smarty Pants, All Nuts, published by Soaring Kite Books. I think Soaring Kite Books is also a great resource for parents and educators generally, so check them out. Astronym has also done work for Scholastic. Um, she's definitely aligns herself with people who are driven with passion, purpose, um, and a similar mission. So shout out to Charity and Astro. I really, really like Mr. Smarty Pants.